The next thing we're going to do is look at how the navigation assist function works. Two things we're going to do. One is we're going to record a route that we'd like to follow, and then we're going to see how we backload the route that we actually took from the GPS unit onto the computer. So the first thing we do is go to the Coxmate website and we click on GPS. To get into this part of the program, there's a login that may or may not be the same as your login for your purchases. So I've entered my username and my password, so we log in. Now, this gives you a few options at the top, including routes and route planning. So if we go to route planning, what we do is we will look at this route. I've already put this route in here, special home. Now, whether you're creating a new one or editing one, the process is very similar, but for expediency, I've already put the route in there. Now, this is a block where I live. There's two lines on here. One is a white one and the other one is a red one. The white one is the route that we want to follow. Now we'll just enlarge it slightly. If we want to change that route, we move the cursor until it has a finger pointing onto the little circles, then we can shift them. And we can make that as complicated or simple as we like. If we wanted to extend that here into the circle, drag it out, we can then move this one up to the corner and we can take this one down the street again. Okay, so we've programmed a route. The other thing you can also program is what I call exclusion zone down here, which is this red line. And again, same way of editing it, we go to the bubbles or the circles and we get the finger pointing and then we can drag it across. When we've finished, we update it. Okay, so now we go back to route list, and this special home, which is the name of this route that I've just produced, we say we'll export it. Now what it's done is it's put it to the bottom of the screen. Other browsers might give you the option of taking it straight to the file or the folder where you want it to go, but we have to drag that to that folder. So what we do is we go to Explorer, and here we're looking at the removable disk drive, which is what the GPS has seen as. It's seen as removable disk E, and we've gone to the Coxmate folder on that. So we click on Coxmate, and it'll show you all the records that are in there. So then we drag this one that's been downloaded from here across to this folder. It will disappear when I click on it. Okay. If we look down here now, you can see you've got special home, which is the one we just put in. We've just developed and downloaded a route to the GPS. This route is called special home. To select this route, we press the orange button until we get to mode. We select route select. We then have to acknowledge that the unit will not be relied on for safety. We select our route, and the next thing we have to do is to set up the display. So we press the orange button and select display. This shows us the screen, and we select which segment we want to put navigation function into. We scroll through the variables available until we find navigation, which we select and save. We press the orange button to get back to the 5 variable display and see navigation on the bottom right. We have now taken the GPS outside and given the unit some time to find some satellites. We will now start the timer, and what we see is in the bottom right is a number, which is 0, and an arrow. Now this tells us how far we are off the program route. Now we're deliberately walking out into the road here of our program route, and it's telling us that we're 4 meters away to the left to come back 4 meters to the right to get back on track. So as we come back to the right, what we will see is the error goes down 2 meters, 1 meter, and then down to 0. When we've been walking along, the unit has been facing away from the direction of travel. This is the same as if you were in a cox's seat. However, if you were rowing, for example in a single, then the unit is actually facing in the same direction as you're travelling. Now in this case, the number and the arrow represents where the error is, so you have to travel away from the arrow. In later versions of the firmware, which is version 1.04 and onwards, you can nominate whether you are a rower or a COTS when you select navigation, and in that case the unit will always tell you the direction in which you should travel. Now we've gone off and we've walked, or we rode on or walked on our route, and we come back and we want to see what the route actually looked like. So we go to route, and here the first thing we can do is it says select the file. So we import file, and what it'll do is it'll show us the same directory that we saw before, which is the movable disk drive E, Coxmate. And what we're looking for this time is the record that we made when we were taking the route that we just plotted. And I know that it was on the 8th at 4:02, so we click on that one, open, and that will download that file to the unit. Now we'll give it a description, special, ignore the spelling, and we can import that. Now if we want to look at that, up here we've got special, we have view, and it will show us the route. Now this is the corner of the block. You can see I was wobbling around a bit trying to demonstrate how the navigation assistant would try and bring me back into line. Now if we want to compare that to our actual planned route, then what we do is we go back to our route list and we will edit our special, and it will then give us the option of putting a route in there. So if we put in special home update, then now if we go and look at that route list and view it, what we'll see is that the white line is what the program route was and the yellow line is what the actual one was. So it's all fairly simple.